What's going on YouTube? Welcome to episode 169 of the U.S.S. Enterprise D tutorial. I'm Zero Elite and I just want to thank you very much for tuning in today's episode. If you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button helping me in supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. And new subscribers, don't forget to hit notifications on and also check out the Discord. I'll have a link below. Today we're going to be picking up right where we left off in episode 168, working on our captain's yacht. So let's go ahead, kick back, relax, and jump right into it. So I actually stand corrected. I thought that this area was the bridge. It's not. It's the transporter room. I kind of got mixed up in the direction that we were facing. Don't hold it against me. It's been a while since we've made this. But no, this side is going to end up being the transporter pad on the captain's yacht, and then the opposite end, that'll end up being the bridge. And we're not trying to make anything too big. We're just trying to make something that's big enough that it resembles a transporter pad, and it just needs to be big enough to where it looks like a couple of people can walk on it and be transported off the yacht if they needed to. And then we're going to call it a day. We're not going to be making something super overly extravagant or big because at the end of the day we just don't have the room to work with. But I think we'll be able to do enough here that it'll work. And that's really it. I mean, there's enough there to have 6 pads. Quite sure how I feel about that white in the center. Then we're going to do like a gray line pattern going along the back wall. Every other row will add this gray concrete block. Except for the back, we're going to split that up by 3. But then no, that'll work because we can do one in the middle. So we're still in good shape following our pattern. Just want to make sure that when we're placing these, that your right side matches your left side. As long as it matches, you're in good shape. For those of you that don't have exactly what I have, the main thing to focus on is just to make sure that everything matches up on each side. Looking pretty good so far. Now we need to build out our entry waypoint. Yeah, and even the roof here, we don't have a lot of room to work with. The only thing that we'll really be able to do there to clean it up is that we can cover that up with half slabs. We'll fill in the side here. You can even get rid of that block here on the corner just to make it flat going across. Alright, we've got the first section of our captain's yacht up, and yeah, we're just going to flesh this area out. It will actually be complete and then we'll move on. It's actually pretty cool. Like, I've been looking forward to this section of the tutorial for a while because I've been telling you guys that it really wasn't until we were getting close to the end that you're really going to start seeing me pick up steam with detailing out the rest of the ship, because I mean, just the scale of the Enterprise D of my scale that we're doing, half scale to a full Galaxy class, but still a half scale is still a massive build in itself, and it's taken a long time to prep out the rest of the ship to get us to this point where we can kind of focus on the interior detailing, which I think is probably one of the most fun parts of the ship, is that and not that the exterior and planning out your walkways on the interior isn't fun. That's a lot of fun, but detailing the ship, I think, is one of the most enjoyable things that I'm able to do on these builds, because I feel like that's when the ship really kind of starts to come to life a little bit. And all things considered, even when we're going to leave off on the tutorial series as a whole, we'll have pretty much fleshed out almost every single room that was in TNG, except with an exception of a couple of rooms. Like the only thing that we didn't get a chance to get to before I lost the save file was fleshing out the medical deck, and then building out the science labs. Other than that, we pretty much have covered everything. Maybe aside from like one or two diplomat rooms that were in TNG. Um, Other than that, we pretty much covered most of the bases. But with that being said, there's going to be room left off with this ship that you'll be able to add these rooms yourself. And I hope that you guys do, because I'm not going to lie, like I'm still pretty upset that I'm not going to be able to finish the Enterprise D to the extent that I wanted to, because there was a lot more that I had planned for this build. But I mean, everything happens for a reason, and I'm just going to kind of roll with the punches here and move on to the next one. I have to get on this coming weekend to start Voyager, because we are getting to that point where we're starting to creep up on the end of this tutorial series, and I really need to start to get a move on with that. I think I pretty much have established and decided that I'm going to build Voyager on my computer, so that this way I can back up my save on my external hard drive. Um, the only downside to that is I'm going to have to start a new save file. So all the stuff that you've seen me doing on my channel, Voyager will be by itself. It won't be with any of those other builds, which is okay. It's not necessarily a bad thing to start a new save file, just kind of weird for me anyway, because since I've been playing Minecraft anyway, I've only ever built on this one map that we're on right now. I've never built on any other map, because I kind of wanted to keep all my builds together. But I think it'll be a good thing going forward, because God forbid if something like this ever happens again where I have to change Xboxes or whatever, I'm not going to have that problem with PC, because I'll be able to back everything up. And then also, not only that, having access to the mods. Not that I'm going to be using them on all of my builds, but I suspect that once I actually do start building on PC, I probably will have at least one or two mod builds that I do. And then there will be some other cool things I'll be able to do with it too, like if I ever decide to release my save file where people can actually download my world, that could be an option. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I kind of like where I'm at right now, where people can build my ships, but they can't get access to the source material, so I don't have any kind of issues with somebody trying to take credit for what I've done. I've got the original save, but I don't know, maybe I'll get more lenient on that as I build on PC. We'll kind of play that by ear. But, you know, there's still some work to do on the Enterprise D. You know, we don't have a ton of content left, but we're not going to make it up to episode 192, because what I've been doing, I've actually been going through my tutorial, or through my recording sessions, and I've been looking specifically at what I've done. And there have been like one or two episodes I actually ended up deleting, because the stuff that I did in those episodes, it wasn't anything that changed the design of the exterior or the interior of the ship. And I kind of felt like with a couple of those episodes, I was just kind of spinning my wheels a little bit, and just kind of cutting it back and focusing on what I think we need to focus on. Now I do want to kind of bring it back here, because you can see we're going to jump from one section to the next. This is going to be editing, so we're going to be taking a short break from working on the Captain's Yacht, and now we're going to make our way back to our Ambo Jiu-Jitsu ring. We're on the outside of it, and we're going to be closing in these doorways that we've added here. Now, I'm closing them in on my build. They're just going to be facades. You guys, if you want to add stuff in here and put rooms here, I say go for it. This is ultimately one of the reasons that this is going to be there, so that you guys can expand upon this if you decide to. Now, I might wait to do that because, bear in mind, there's going to be some other stuff that we're going to be doing with this specific section of the ship, but it's going to be on the entertainment deck. It won't be on this middle crew quarters deck, and it won't be on the medical deck. So you've got a decent amount of room here to where if you wanted to expand upon this and build out more rooms, you can definitely do that. I think that's probably one of the things that I've actually enjoyed with the Enterprise D that I haven't been able to do on some of my other builds, is leaving a little bit of wiggle room to where people can add more things if they want to. Because since I've been doing my Minecraft videos, I kind of figure that there's a few different types of people. There's people that'll watch my videos just for loose inspiration, but they go in their own direction with what they want to do. There's some other people that they'll watch my videos and they'll build, for the most part, what I do, but then they'll kind of add their own spin on it and add in some extra areas, which is why, again, we have some of these extra rooms to work with, so that those of you that want to do it that way, you can expand upon it. And then I also have the people that will build out what I have exact one for one. So, I mean, at the end of the day, there's no wrong way of doing it, You want to build this thing out exactly to what I have, go for it. If you want to use this as inspiration, but you want to pull up the blueprints of the Enterprise D and make something that's a little bit more accurate than what I have, I say go for it. There's no wrong way to build this thing out. The real main important thing is that we're having fun with what we're doing, because most of you probably play Minecraft for the same reason that I do. It's because you enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It has its challenges in it, but it's a challenge in a good way. But it takes your mind off of everything that's going on, which is one of the things that I absolutely love about Minecraft, is that when I do get on here, that I'm focused on what I'm doing. Very similar to, actually, believe it or not, drawing. I get the same satisfaction anytime I used to draw, where I'm focused on drawing or I'm focused on building in Minecraft and I'm not thinking about anything else. It ends up being very therapeutic because it basically gives your mind a chance to take a break from all the crap that's going on in the world, especially right now. So anybody that is watching these videos, even if you're not a builder, I suggest that you maybe try this out. If you're getting a little bit stressed out in life, you need to take a break, or you need something to take your mind off stuff, having a build to focus on is such a good stress reliever to have. And it's very satisfying, to start building something out like this, like the Enterprise D, and you take your time with it. Don't just jump the gun on it, plan it out. Slow and steady wins the race, and just have fun with it. Like, I've been working on this thing for a year and a half, and yeah, like, some people might think like you're crazy for spending that much time, but the way I look at it is that I've had a year and a half of something to keep my mind focused on something else when I want something to be a stress reliever, to take my mind off things. But we're in pretty good shape. Getting in a little bit more we got going on here. You can see we're fleshing out this room that's right next to the Ambo Jiu-Jitsu ring. And I believe this is going to be one of the lounges. Because, believe it or not, on the Enterprise D, there's actually quite a few of them. You can see for a second there I was going with the blue, but now I'm switching to the white concrete. The reason that we're doing this is because the flooring that we have here, we can't delete anything in the floor, because if we do, we'll be on the exterior. So we'll be filling that in with carpeting. But this is something that the Enterprise D has a ton of, and it's the lounges. There's so many lounges on the Enterprise D, it's not even funny. Even with the bars, there's a reason that 10 forward is called 10 forward. It's a misconception when people think like, oh, 10 forward is the only bar on the Enterprise D. No. 10 forward is exactly what it sounds like. It's the 10th lounge and the forward section of the ship. So you start doing the math on just how many lounges the Enterprise D actually has. It's actually quite staggering, which this is one of the reasons why I'm doing my ship just a little bit differently than how it actually is. Because if I would have made the interior one for one, we would have had lounges all over the place. When they designed the Enterprise D, they were all about the lounges. You've got your bars, you've got your observation decks, you've got your diplomat lounges, you've got your crew lounges. I mean, they've literally got a lounge for everybody and their dad's sister for the Enterprise D. I mean, that's the one thing that you will never have a shortage of on this ship. So that's kind of why, like, I kind of veered away from that. Those of you that want to build that out, I say go for it, but I was content enough to where I built out 10 forward, and then I built out the lounge where they'd have their theater performances. And then I called it a day because I felt like anything else after that, I'd just be replicating those same two rooms over and over and over again. And then it's like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Um, but I think what we have going on here works pretty good. You can see we're back in the Ambo Jiu-Jitsu ring, just cleaning up a couple of sections on the walls. Sometimes I'll do that while I'm building. I'll take a short break from what we're doing, kind of jump all over the place. I've been trying to get better at that, though. I think for the most part, I've succeeded on the Enterprise D, where like I start out one section of the ship and I follow it through. But if I move on to another section like we're doing right now, there's a reason for it, and it's because I'll have an idea in my head for something else, or like in this case with the captain's yacht, I started to work on an idea, but I wasn't exactly quite sure where I was going to take it. So I was like, okay, let's take a break from it. Let's work on something else until I get my idea formed together completely, and then we'll revisit it. I mean, and that's such a good practice or such a good thing to practice, because if you're not sure what you want to do, you're going to end up 9 times out of 10 doing something that you're not crazy about, and you're just going to spin your wheels changing things up. So that's why when I get like that, or I feel like I'm not sure what I want to do, I just walk away from that area for a little while and I work on something else. So, and that's what we did here. You know, we moved to a couple of areas of the ship, and now we're back in the captain's yacht. And you can see we've got our bridge in place, and we've kind of got our area sectioned off here. We've got a couple of sections of the ship that we can kind of flesh out now. And it doesn't seem like we had a lot of room to work with, but hopefully you guys are surprised, because we've got more room than you might have realized before, because we've got our bridge, we've got an area here, and the area we're standing on this side, and then that's not counting the whole area that's behind us. So we've got like 3 or 4 sections that we can play with. So we'll have plenty of room to where we can add in our mess hall and our sleeping quarters. So we'll be able to do everything that we want to do here. But I think that this is a good place to stop on today's episode. We'll pick this up again on episode 170. But I just want to thank you all again for tuning in today's episode. And if you did enjoy this content today, please help me out. Hit that like and subscribe button, helping me supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. New subscribers, don't forget to hit notifications on so you get notified when those new videos drop. And speaking of new videos, you can always catch my new Minecraft episodes dropping Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. If you have any questions below, be sure to drop a comment below or on Discord. Any ship builds you want to see me do, be sure to join the Discord and go under build suggestions, so this way you can add the build that you'd want to see me do and people can upvote it. I'm not taking any suggestions off YouTube for that reason, so this way I'm trying to get everybody on the Discord, so that this way they can see what builds people are actually suggesting and upvoting them. Because the way I had it before with on YouTube, like you'd have to literally be on the episode that people suggested it in the comments section, and it's made it very difficult to kind of gauge what people want in that regard. So it's really been working out for the Discord, so be sure to join that. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap us up today. I just want to thank you all again for tuning in today's episode. I hope everybody has a happy and safe week. And of course, what did you make in Minecraft today? Let me know in the comments and post your pictures on Discord.